in the same spirit of representation, right, in the entertainment, do you see that same representation in local businesses or like just society, like around you? Because like I know even though you see entertainment, it's hard to break to feel that same. Uh, it's hard to relate because it feels so far fetched, right? So do you
Mm-hmm.
see that type of representation around you, local businesses or just like daily
Well,
business?
okay, like fashion industry, that whole thing that happened with H&M and the
Mm-hmm.
coolest monkey in the jungle. Everyone was like, "Really H&M? Like, what's up with that?" So that was about last month, and to see like we have these progressions, and then at the same time, it's like you're progressing 5 steps ahead, and then you get back down to like 7 steps back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
like
okay.
it's really hard.
And that also kind of relates to so there's this image of like seeing and talking about how it's the first time ever in history for baristas to get their sick leave, right? And it's for
For
Starbucks,
Starbucks, yeah.
and I think you can put it up. And then so like do you, so we like you were just saying we make a few steps forward, but then like
Mm-hmm.
we
Take
push back, we're taking it
yeah.
back, right? And I want to know what you guys think about that.
Which
I think the image itself is pretty messed up because normally I'm the guy that would say like take it easy. I think you're looking like a little too deep into
Mm-hmm.
what they're putting,
Mm-hmm.
but seeing it myself, it's literally three black baristas
yeah.
with like a token white barista way back, and it's like the image is. I mean, if you've been into Starbucks, it's I maybe see like one or two black
Yeah.
baristas working, and it's like predominantly not like all blacks. This image, I feel like it's a jab. Personally like it like evoked that kind of emotion in me where it was like that. I don't know. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it could have been done better.
And
Yeah, like I work for Starbucks as well, and it was weird to see that I don't think that was an accurate visual of what Starbucks is. It's very diverse, but only black people were really shown, except that one white woman. And see, that's where it comes down to. We want representation, especially in media. We want to see these stories successful or just true stories about what's going on in our community. But then, like you said, it's a jab because they're painting us to seem as like the weight, like hiring black people. This is most likely what's gonna happen. You're gonna get those people that just want to take days off because we are, I guess, the burden of that
yeah.
company. And I don't think that's very true, and it shouldn't be portrayed that way.
And it's kind of a paradox actually because we're here like wanting representation and like not even to just say black representation but just as people like you
Mm-hmm.
know for like equal equality and like all of that, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, we'll give you representation, just we'll make fun of you at the same time, we'll
Mm-hmm.
disrespect you at the same time. Because for me, when I saw it and I'm seeing that there's a black woman and they literally just zoned in on the black woman, it's kind of like, oh, you see, this is why you shouldn't even hire a black woman for your business, because you see, like, she's just gonna always call in sick, and with
Mm-hmm.
like feminine things, every
Mm-hmm.
being a female, there's things that can happen, and it just kind of gives off that burden, like you said. Like, we always get this representation of ourselves that's stigmatized, and it's tiring. You know.
And it's very sad because also there's a story about I don't know if you had heard about it, like John Rivers.
I think I know a gist of John River story. So he was he is a young black man who has this condition that he went to several doctors to see what was going on. They had some challenges trying to diagnose him, and they weren't able to really help him. And so, I guess as a way to cry out for some help, he posted, or there's a social media campaign on Twitter, kind of to address this thing that he was dealing with, and from that story, I guess, talking about representation, um, it would have been really great. Did he end up having someone that found out his diagnosis? Yeah. So it would have been really great to, I guess, have him or have resources available for him that were people of color or people who could really advocate for him as well. The problem sometimes in, I guess, healthcare system is that race is, a factor. It plays on how people are treated. It affects how they are, equality there, and gaining that same access to care and quality of care. So him being a black man, I think it might have affected how he was taken seriously. The doctors, may have had maybe a slight discrimination against him. I really don't know, but I know that there are many cases that because of that race issue, that people are not being treated for their illnesses, or they're not being taken care of the same way as, say, a white person might be taken care of.
And that's probably why a lot of the time the need to look for help is discouraged, because it's like you don't even feel like if you go for help, someone's going to take you seriously.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah. Like your issues are not validated, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So even with that being said, like in the healthcare system, it's such an important, need for there to be a diverse representation of these healthcare professionals that can not only just relate with their patients, but patients feel comfortable, like someone gets it, like someone that looks like me will kind of look out for me, and it affects that race issue that is a real social determinant of health. People are being affected by just the color of their skin, and gaining quality care. So I think, like, for me, I'm part of this group where we kind of are really pushing for that, trying to create a movement within, like, just the younger generation to really pursue a career in healthcare, and we want to support them as well, because sometimes Black or just any minority might feel like just the limitations of their race and all these different things, having education or whatever discrimination that they may be experiencing. We want to support those students who are trying to get there, but there's just so many barriers and limitations, so that we can have a more diverse, equally representation of what our society looks like in the medical field.
Sorry, I just had a follow-up question. Is like income level like a factor as to like
Absolutely.
the healthcare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people, I think there's so many statistics that show that those who have a lower socioeconomic status, lower education, all of those things that you don't really take in, affect how they are gaining access to quality care, how they are able to afford certain things like medication or different services, access to those services. The richer you are, the higher education you have, and also the color of your skin will definitely affect you in the quality of care you get.
Yeah. Even in my health psychology course, we went over that, and like socioeconomic status is like plays a very big role in people that even try to seek care to begin with, and then the level of care that they are receiving. So
Yeah, and I think one thing what we take for advantage is that self-care really is a luxury. Just the time for it, like we were talking about earlier, and so like that's you guys really make great points on that. Like, thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Were you about to say something?
So also with representation as well, in terms of feeling like we're not being taken seriously, of course Black Lives Matter, we already know the campaign that they run, and just recently one of the activists on Black Lives Matter was actually shot in New Orleans. The story behind it was they were showing their support at a rally or a protest, and he had taken down the Confederation flag. We all know that the Confederation flag is actually very offensive to us as Black folk. So that was the reasons leading on to him being shot, from what I can understand. But you know, it's like you're trying to make a difference for your people and uplift your people, and you just have, it's like this border or this barrier that just keeps you down. And I think that is also like, it also encourages the whole mental illness and the mental health thing, because then we don't really know where to go to, and we're not really feeling like we're represented, so that is taxing on you, like, you know.
It's very obvious that this is very sad, and it's been happening for countless years, right? I just want to know, like, what, like, as far as solutions go, like, how is there any progress? Like, I know there's still gonna be issues, but like, do you think that just at least even a little progress so
Yeah,
far?
like there's little progress. We're doing what we can, and the efforts that are being made, like even every day, like it adds to our progress. But I mean, because of where we stand within society and the oppressions that we face, that is what keeps that progress from really like it keeps us from pushing forward really in our progress. So, I don't. Would you have anything to add to that?
I think that there's still so much to be done. I think like we don't really have power yet, to be honest. I mean, yes, we had a black president, and now we have Trump. So I think we still have so much more progress to make, and it doesn't. For me, I know like my ancestors, you know, people who have, you know, lost their lives to get the freedom that we have now, but there's still so much to be done, and I want to say that there has been some progress, but I don't really think that's accurate. But I think that, you know, as our generation, we are seeing, you know, our voice matters, and I think we are trying to make a difference. And like myself and, you know, some other people that I know, we have started a group called Black Physicians of Tomorrow, that, as I said again, like really focuses on targeting that issue of representation, black representation in the medical field. And we want to allow students, young people, to find their, like, be inspired and be empowered to really make a difference, and not feel like that the limitations or the barriers that hold you back will stop you from doing that.
Okay. Well, so it's so it's very inspiring to hear like solutions like that, and progress, and knowing that not just as students, like young people, were also being active on this type of issues, right? Because it's our future, so they're taking that in hands. So I'd just like to conclude here and thank you guys so much for participating
Thank
in
you.
this
Thank
episode,
you.
and yeah, bye.
Bye.